Alright, so I just want to welcome you guys back to the channel, and if you're new here, welcome. If you're a fanatic of everything entertainment, then this is the channel for you. But in today's review, I'll be doing a 4K review of Killer Klowns from Outer Space. So let's get into it. So the reason why I'm making this video today is because I got this 2 weeks early. This does not come out till May 14th, and for someone that doesn't often pre-order things, and to get something like 2 weeks before its street date, I was blown away. My mind was blown. I was like freaking out. My wife was at work and I'm like, guess what just came in the mail? Like, I was over the moon about it, and I was like, well, I haven't done a 4K review in quite some time, and this was a movie that I was excited for coming to 4K. Me and Andrew Kavanaugh from Kavanaugh's Corner did a video on our most anticipated upcoming 4K releases, and this was one of them. And does it hold up to my expectations? Let's find out. So before I get into it, I just want to say a little bit about the movie first. We might do a quick unboxing, and also we're going to be talking about the audio and video last. So if you don't know what you're getting yourself into when it comes to Killer Klowns from Outer Space, that's on you, because this movie is a movie that I've been a fan of for 10 plus years. I remember seeing it at the right age of like 12 or 13, and it was absolutely for me. And I haven't seen it in like 5 or 6 years, ever since I got the DVD from Walmart 5 to 7 years ago, somewhere in there. I'm not entirely sure when I got it, but yeah, Killer Klowns from Outer Space. This was a movie that I thought needed to come to 4K, and I'm glad it finally did. But this movie, like I said, if you don't know what you're getting yourself into, then you might not be a fan. But I don't know. I love the practical effects in here. The special effects are questionable with the green screen and stuff, and certain scenes involving a clown on a motorcycle. Like, that scene was just way too much for me, especially with the green screen effects and everything. But I'll be honest, I don't know if this is good or bad, but the first 5 to 10 minutes, I showed this movie to my wife. I was feeling really awkward about it. But then after 2 or 3 beers in, I'm like, yeah, this is more like it, dude. Like, I started enjoying it more. So I don't know entirely what that says. But when I was drinking, yeah, I had as much fun as I did with this film than I did 10 plus years ago. But anyways, this movie is not for everyone, but for me, this is one that I loved ever since I saw it, and thankfully I still do with a couple of beers. I don't know if I could watch this sober with somebody, because it was pretty awkward for those first 5 to 10 minutes, but either way, I'm a fan of this movie, and if you know what you're getting yourself into, you may enjoy it, you might not. I don't entirely know, but my wife ended up enjoying it as well, so that made me feel a lot better than I did, going into it. But either way, let's do a quick unboxing. I haven't done one of these in a while, but I did get the regular slipcover edition of this. And this is the front, this is the spine, and this is the back with all these special features and tech specs. Since I pre-ordered it, it also came with this. I believe this is a 18 by 24 poster. I do not have any poster boards for it. I do have some 16 by 20s, but I am by no means, I'm not going to cut this to 16 by 20, because I'm not doing that for this movie, especially when I got this poster. It's really rad, and whenever I return to YouTube full time, then that poster is going to be up. Hopefully in my backdrop. I don't entirely know. But I do want to apologize for this setup. It does look really weird. I know. I just got me a brand new phone. I got me an iPhone 15 Pro Max, so it doesn't entirely fit on my tripod. I'm doing this weird thing with it. I jerry-rigged it, so I know it doesn't look the best. I couldn't make it look good in my man cave, and this was like the second best thing, and this is what we're going with. But I'm hoping to be back on a regular basis within a couple of months, so you might get some videos scattered throughout. But anyways, once you take the slipcover off, the same artwork is on there, same spine, and same back, of course. I was hoping there was going to be some reversible cover art, but there is not. And this is what the 4K disc looks like. It has the Ferenzi brothers on it, and this is the Blu-ray disc. But yeah, speaking of the Ferenzi brothers, I don't know, I was a fan of them when I first saw this movie, but their story arc in here is pretty cringy, doesn't really age the best. Some dialogue in here also doesn't age the best, but it's a fun time, so what do you expect? But anyways, let's get into the audio. So, and a lot of my other 4K reviews, I told you guys that I listen to everything through my TV speakers, because I still don't have a soundbar. Even though I brought this up like 2 or 3 years ago, I still do not have a soundbar, or any speakers for that matter. But anyways, the audio, I usually have my TV turned on halfway, and it was perfectly fine with that. I don't know what much else to say other than it wouldn't call it an immersive experience, but it did the job. So, through the audio, It's perfectly fine. I don't know what this is. I don't know if it's an Atmos or whatever. Oh, it's just a regular 5.1 and 2.0. So, the dialogue heavy scenes, you could hear them perfectly fine. It's nothing outstanding. The music came through really nicely, but it's nothing to blow your socks off. But either way, it did its job, so no complaints for me. So let's move on to the video presentation of this release. I am happy to announce that this movie was made to come to the 4K format because the HDR10 on my TV brought a lot to the table. This movie is one that, like I said, whenever I heard it was coming to 4K, I'm like, that makes sense, and it does. This movie is so colorful and vibrant. This is one that needed to lend itself to 4K because everything just pops up on the screen. Yes, there is a lot of nighttime scenes, but there's also a lot of scenes revolving around the clowns, also revolving around, the circus tents and everything, and the interiors and the exteriors of that. Looks really good. Also, the 4K picture itself, like the detail and everything, looks great. You see a lot of wrinkles in the mask that you haven't seen before in other releases. It looks great in here. Like a lot of the close-ups on the killer clowns, you could see every nook and cranny. You could see every wrinkle on the mask. I thought that was awesome. That's why I was turning to my wife. I'm like, a lot of these close-ups look awesome, and then, on the human characters as well. You see a lot on the policeman suit that I haven't noticed before either. Especially with the sergeant in here, he is a lovable dick. It's a really weird quote, but I'm going with it. It's a guy that you love to hate, but every time that he's on screen, I have a big smile on my face. And like I told my wife, if I had to deal with him in person, then yeah, I'd be pissed off and annoyed. But since it's a movie, I love this guy. And also the police officer in training, I didn't like him in the beginning, but he turned out to be one of my favorite characters. And then the main two leads, the couple in here, they do all right. They're serviceable. At first, I see what my wife was talking about. She's like, are we following them throughout the entire film? I'm like, yep, we are. But you grow to really like them as well. So, the characters in here, they're nothing to write home about. But if you're making a film called Killer Klowns from Outer Space, you're not going to get, grade A type acting in here. You get serviceable acting, and for the most part, it pays off. So I know that has nothing to do with the video aspect, but I don't know, little tangent. But anyways, should you pick up Killer Klowns from Outer Space on 4K Ultra HD? Yes, you should, because this movie lends itself to the format really well. This is one that I'm glad came to 4K because it needed to, and it just looks great. It's the best this movie's ever going to look, because I'm pretty sure there's not going to be an 8K disc out there for the average consumer. But anyways, yeah, you guys definitely need to check this release out, and I just want to say thank you as always for checking out my channel, and I hope to see you in the next video.